The crypto world's buzzing with one massive question. Can Cardano ADA actually hit $10? Seriously, just picture it. A price that would launch Cardano into a whole new league and could be a game changer for every single ADA holder out there. There's a lot of noise, but we're about to cut right through it. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, The Money Blueprint. I am your host Michael, and today, we're going way beyond the headlines. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of Cardano's tech and taking a good hard look at the wild world of market speculation. What does it actually take for a crypto to skyrocket 10, 20, or even 30 times its current value? Is $10 for ADA just wishful thinking, or is it a real possibility we should be getting ready for? Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll have the essential insights to understand where Cardano might be headed. We'll cover the good stuff, the tech powering Cardano, and the roadblocks it's up against. So why $10? What's the magic behind this number for Cardano? Right now, in mid-June 2025, ADA is hovering around 60 to 75 cents. Hitting $10? That's a massive jump. We're talking about a 1,200% to 1,500% surge depending on where it starts from. This isn't just a small price increase, it's a huge leap that would push Cardano's market cap to roughly $350 billion. That would plant it right up there with the biggest names in crypto. And this isn't just wishful thinking from investors. We've heard analysts and even Cardano's own Charles Hoskinson talk about these kinds of prices being possible if the ecosystem keeps growing and important updates roll out smoothly. Hoskinson has thrown out targets like $3, $5, and yup, even $10, if Input-Output Global, IOG, delivers on its roadmap and the community stays strong. It's this mix of big dreams, solid development, and a fired-up community that keeps the $10 ADA hope alive. But hopes need to be grounded in reality. So let's look at Cardano's tech. Cardano has always stood out because of its super careful, research-first way of building its blockchain. They're not about rushing things, they're about making something secure, scalable, and built to last. And all that careful work is really starting to pay off. First up, let's talk scalability and efficiency. The ongoing rollout of Hydra, Cardano's Layer 2 scaling solution, is a huge deal. Hydra is designed to massively increase how many transactions Cardano can handle. Think 1,000 transactions per second for each Hydra head in tests and slash those pesky fees. This is key for supporting a growing world of dApps and handling lots of transactions quickly. As Hydra gets better and more heads go live, the network's capacity should really open up, making it a sweeter deal for developers and users alike. Input-Output Global, IOHK, keeps suggesting ways to make Cardano nodes more stable, cheaper to run, and even more scalable, like using log-structured merge, LSM trees to cut down on how much memory a node needs. Second, you can't ignore the growth in Cardano's dApp ecosystem and DeFi scene. Smart contracts, which came with the Alonzo upgrade, opened the floodgates for new DeFi tools, NFT platforms, and other cool, decentralized stuff. As of early to mid-2025, reports say over 2,000 projects are building on Cardano, and a lot of them are focused on NFTs. We've seen over 10.8 million native assets created on Cardano, and transaction numbers are climbing. MinSwap is the top dog for trading volume among Cardano's decentralized exchanges, and Liquid is leading in total value locked, TVL. Now Cardano's TVL in DeFi isn't as big as Ethereum's, but it's definitely growing. Something really exciting is Cardano's move into Bitcoin DeFi. Adding Bitcoin support to Cardano's Lace wallet and building a Bitcoin bridge are smart plays. This lets Bitcoin owners use their assets in Cardano's DeFi world, which could bring in a ton of liquidity and a whole new wave of users. A lot of analysts see this cross-chain stuff as a major spark for price growth. Charles Hoskinson even suggested using $100 million in ADA from Cardano's treasury to swap for Bitcoin and stablecoins to pump up DeFi liquidity on the network. Third, Cardano is heading into its Voltaire era, all about decentralized governance. The goal here is a system that runs itself, where ADA holders get to vote on future changes to the protocol, how treasury funds are used, and what the community works on. This dedication to real decentralization is a big part of what Cardano is all about and really sets it apart. Plus, things like the Midnight sidechain, made for dApps that need privacy, show Cardano is serious about innovating and meeting different user needs. Hoskinson thinks Midnight is Cardano's biggest area of growth, and the Laos upgrade, expected in 2026, should also seriously boost transaction speed and processing power. These tech improvements aren't just talk, they mean the network can do more. More developers are jumping in, and ADA itself becomes more valuable. The fact that new ADA wallets are popping up, around 1,700 a day in early 2025, shows more people are getting on board. Tech is great, but it's not the only thing that moves prices, especially in crypto. Market feeling, speculation, and what's happening in the wider economy all play a massive part. So, what kind of market buzz could push ADA towards $10? Big money interest is a huge one. We've seen some good signs here. For example, Grayscale Investments upped its ADA holdings, making it a key part of its smart contract platform X Ethereum fund. Early in 2025, Cardano even reportedly pulled in more institutional money than Bitcoin and Ethereum for a bit, with $63.3 million in inflows up to March 29, 2025. When big institutions get involved, they bring serious cash, more trading activity, and a stamp of approval, which can help prices stay stable and grow. There's also a lot of talk about a potential Cardano ETF, and that speculation creates a good vibe, even if it's still up in the air. Market mood and cycles are incredibly strong. Crypto prices are famous for reacting to things like global money supply and interest rate policies. If the wider financial markets switch back to a risk-on mood, maybe because central banks loosen up or a new crypto bull run kicks off, that could light a fire under altcoins like Cardano. Analysts like Dan Gambardello have even spotted technical chart patterns, like a cup and handle or inverse head and shoulders, hinting at some big potential upward moves. The Cardano community and influencers also stir the pot. Cardano has one of the liveliest and most dedicated communities out there. This strong support, plus Charles Hoskinson being pretty vocal, helps keep spirits high, especially when big upgrades or partnerships are announced. And when Hoskinson himself talks about ADA hitting $3, $5, or even $10 if IOG nails its roadmap, that naturally gets people excited. Even the idea that Cardano was being looked at for a US strategic crypto reserve early in 2025, alongside big players like Bitcoin and Ethereum, created a lot of buzz and a temporary price jump. It just shows how big picture stuff like geopolitics or major institutional interest can change how people see a coin and its price. And don't forget, Cardano has a limited supply of 45 billion ADA tokens. As more people start using it, and more ADA gets locked up in staking, a lot of it is staked right now, or in DeFi, there might be less ADA available to buy on exchanges. If demand is high, this smaller available supply can push the price up. Now all this market stuff sounds promising, but getting to $10 won't be a walk in the park. Alright, before we get into the hurdles and what really needs to click for Cardano to have a shot at that $10 price, if you're getting some value from this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and ding that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dives. And drop a comment below, what's your honest price prediction for Cardano by the end of 2025? Okay, it's super important to keep a level head here. The crypto world is a tough battlefield full of unknowns. There are some serious roadblocks that could stop Cardano from reaching $10. First off, competition. Cardano isn't alone out there. It's up against heavy hitters like Ethereum, which has the biggest dApp ecosystem and the most developers, plus other fast layer 1s like Solana, Avalanche, Polkadot, and Algorand. These guys are also innovating like crazy, offering things like quicker transactions or more developed DeFi systems. Cardano's careful research-based approach is great for security and reliability, but some say it's slow, and that could let quicker competitors grab market share. It's still true that fewer dApps have gained major traction on Cardano compared to Ethereum, even though the ecosystem is growing. Regulatory drama is still a big gray cloud hanging over all of crypto. The US SEC has hinted that tokens like ADA might be securities. If that becomes official, it could be really bad for its market standing, where it's listed, and how investors feel. Figuring out the changing rules around the world is a huge hurdle for every crypto project, Cardano included. You also can't forget market swings and the bigger economy. The crypto market is famous for its wild rides. Even projects with solid tech can see their prices crash during big market slumps or when everyone's feeling down. Global economic conditions, inflation, interest rates, and world events can all really push crypto prices around. Then there are the ongoing adoption and network challenges. Cardano has made some cool progress with real-world uses, especially with things like digital identity and supply chain tracking in developing countries, but getting truly massive adoption is a huge job. A blockchain's success really depends on its network effect. The more users and developers it gets, the more valuable it is. Building up that critical mass when there's already so much competition is a constant fight. Upgrade delays or tech hiccups are always a possibility. Cardano has a good history of delivering on its well-researched plans, but any big delays with key upgrades like making Hydra even better or fully rolling out Voltaire governance could kill the mood for investors and hit the price. Charles Hoskinson has also pointed out that big scaling projects could be at risk if the community doesn't guarantee funding, which might mean IOG, the company doing the development, steps back after certain goals are met. Finally, keeping developers and users interested is vital. Current numbers show growth, but the crypto space can be really fickle. Cardano has to keep giving developers reasons to build cool dApps and get users to actually use them to keep its ecosystem lively and growing. If user activity on the network drops, that would be a bad sign. These are some serious challenges. To get past them, Cardano will need to keep innovating, make smart moves, and hope for a friendly market. So, what's the magic recipe? What exactly needs to line up for Cardano to even have a shot at $10? It's probably not just one thing, but a whole bunch of big wins happening together. DeFi boom and money pouring in. Cardano needs to grab a much bigger piece of the DeFi pie. That means its total value locked, TVL, has to grow by a lot. If the Bitcoin DeFi integration on Cardano really takes off and brings a flood of money from the Bitcoin network, that would be huge. Imagine Cardano becoming the main spot for Bitcoiners looking for DeFi. Demand for ADA could go through the roof. Ideas like that $100 million ADA swap for stablecoins and Bitcoin are aimed at this, trying to get more stablecoin liquidity on Cardano, which is key for DeFi to thrive. Tech upgrades must be perfect and powerful. Things like Hydra need to roll out smoothly and actually show people what they can do in the real world. Users and developers need to feel the difference, way faster transactions and lower fees for Cardano to become a top choice for dApps. Same goes for the Laos upgrade. It needs to deliver that promised speed boost. And the Voltaire governance system needs to transition without a hitch, giving power to the community and keeping the network healthy and decentralized for the long haul. Big money needs to jump in, even more. Cardano needs way more than its current level of institutional investment, and it needs to be steady. This could happen if regulations get clearer, if Cardano-specific investment options like ETFs appear, though that's just guessing, or if big companies start using Cardano for serious business solutions. That kind of adoption doesn't just bring cash, it brings mainstream respect. A massive, long-lasting crypto bull market. Let's be real, $10 ADA is pretty unlikely in a bear market, or even if the market is just treading water, it would probably take a huge bull run across the entire crypto world, like we've seen before, lifting all the good projects with it. That's what creates the kind of "let's take some risks" attitude needed for such a big price jump. Millions of new users and a thriving dApp scene. Cardano needs to get tens of millions of people actively using its ecosystem. That means its dApps have to be useful, easy to use, and offer real value that pulls people from other platforms or brings new folks into Web3. If projects like the Midnight Sidechain succeed in creating unique, private apps that could really help, growth in real-world uses beyond just DeFi and NFTs, especially in areas like identity and supply chains, would also be a big plus. Friendly rules from regulators. This isn't totally up to Cardano, but clearer, more supportive crypto regulations, especially in big countries, would take a lot of pressure off and could open the doors for more big investors and everyday people to get involved, beating the competition in innovation and getting users. In the fast-paced world of Layer 1 blockchains, Cardano can't just keep up. It has to clearly show why it's better, leading developers and users to pick it over Ethereum, Solana, and others for certain things or for its overall strength. Getting to $10 isn't about just one or two of these things happening. It would probably take a perfect storm. A situation where Cardano's tech is fully mature, its ecosystem is buzzing with users and activity, big money is flowing in, and the whole market is in a crazy upswing. Most analysts think that while $1 to $5 is a more common prediction for 2025, that $10 target is usually seen as more of a 2030 possibility, and that's if the whole crypto market cap gets way bigger and Cardano becomes super mainstream. So back to the big question, can Cardano hit $10? The honest truth, it's a really big ask, especially anytime soon, but it's not completely out of the realm of possibility if a lot of things go incredibly well. The tech is solid and keeps getting better. Cardano's dedication to doing its homework, focusing on security, along with cool stuff like Hydra, its growing DeFi scene, especially with that Bitcoin angle, and the upcoming decentralized governing through Voltaire, these are all strong points for the bulls. The ecosystem is definitely expanding with more projects building and more users signing up. But, and it's a big but, the road ahead is packed with challenges. Tough competition, the constant worry about regulations, and the simple fact that crypto markets are a roller coaster are all major hurdles you just can't ignore. To see a $10 ADA, you'd likely need that perfect storm we talked about. Tech breakthroughs leading to tons of people using it, a flood of institutional money, a massive bull run for all of crypto, and Cardano seriously outplaying its rivals. While some super optimistic folks and community members think this could happen fast, maybe even by 2025 if everything's perfect, a lot of predictions see $10 as more of a long shot, maybe closer to 2030. That would also depend on the entire crypto market getting much bigger and Cardano becoming a household name. For 2025, more cautious predictions usually put ADA somewhere between $1 and $5. At the end of the day, putting money into Cardano, like any crypto, is risky. That $10 target sounds amazing, but it needs a good bit of optimism and a belief that Cardano can pull off its huge plans perfectly while dealing with a tricky and crowded market. What we've seen suggests that even though the path is long and unclear, the pieces are there. Whether they can all come together to create a $10 ADA, well, that's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? So what do you think? Do you believe Cardano can make it to $10? And if you do, when do you see it happening? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I genuinely read every single one. If this breakdown gave you some good food for thought, please smash that thumbs up button, it really helps us out. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you get notified right away when we drop new crypto insights. Thanks so much for watching. And just a reminder, this isn't financial advice. Always make sure you do your own deep research before making any investment moves. I'm your host Michael, and this is the Money Blueprint. See you in the next video.